Lee, congratulations on another home win. Just give us your thoughts on the game, please.
Yeah, a challenging game for sure. I thought Doncaster were excellent in spells in the first half, and they gave us the game that we expected. And I thought our intensity was perhaps shy of where we wanted it to be for the first period. And it really was a case of having to play the first half to get to the second half. I think the group were quite clear on what they wanted to affect and change going into that second period. And we were able to show them one or two things which we thought might help. And full credit to them for the change in mentality, the change in tempo, the change in intensity, because the second period really felt different. And it was one I really enjoyed, I've got to say. So again, we have stuff we want to learn from and take away and improve upon, and lots of stuff that we're really pleased with as well. So it's another great lesson. It's another step forward for the group, and obviously, a good result as well.
I think by my count, Doncaster haven't lost a competitive game since the 4th of March last season. So their momentum, their belief in themselves was evident in the opening period. To be able to hand them their first defeat in that time isn't insignificant, I don't think.
No, it's not. And you're right, because we were aware of it pre-game as well. So we talked about it. And I think the group were on the same page as me when it comes to thinking about this group as, the Doncaster team coming here in full confidence, as champions, settled group, settled ideas and way of doing things, structures familiar. So Grant and his team done a wonderful job in causing us lots and lots of problems tonight. So again, full credit to Doncaster for that. I thought the tide turned a little bit in the second half, and lots of that came down to the way we attacked the game. And some of our duels were better. Some of our intensity in big moments was better. And that really did, I think, open the game up for us, and allowed some of our quality to really come to the fore. So that was pleasing. And again, another good lesson for us in terms of where we want to be consistently, rather than having to battle our way or fight our way to half time in a game. But the character that the guys showed to do that and survive moments that were difficult was so pleasing.
I definitely want to ask you about the second half, because it was brilliant, like you said. But one moment from the first half that was just as important was Leo Castledine's tackle. An attacking midfielder, a young boy who's here on loan, busting a gut to get back, timed perfectly. Game could have turned on that if he didn't make that intervention. Just talk to us about how happy you were to see him do that.
Yeah, look, we ask a lot of our forward players at this football club now. So there is an expectancy on our forwards, regardless of age or seniority or where they stand in the group. We expect full work, full intensity, diligence to their out of possession work. And that was an incredible moment of willingness to stick at his task. When perhaps he wasn't favourite, stay dialed into what was needed in that moment. And it was an emergency moment, and we had one or two of those in the game. But it was really pleasing. That was a significant moment. We had several of those across the course of the 90 minutes. There's a header from Lasse Sorensen from a wide free kick, which was fantastic. There's another one from Josh Feeney. There's a block from Josh Feeney in the first half. There's a similar block from Joe in the second period, near enough on his goal line. Goodman brings out a couple of really good stops. So some really pleasing aspects to the group and the character, and to what's going to be needed across incredibly difficult League One season. We're going to need loads and loads of that. People willing to put their head down, run, work, fight, make big blocks, make big saves, protect the team, fight for the group. Loved it. So great example of that. But there were certainly many moments on display of that. So it was really pleasing.
The second half turned on the substitutes. Both goals scored from the substitutes, and that's become a theme across the season so far. I know it's a young season yet, but every time we've had a game at this point, the substitutes have come on and done what you've asked them to. I know you're going to be the last person to give yourself any credit for making the decisions you do in game, but it shows how important the squad as a whole is.
Yeah, well, the credit doesn't lie with me, that's for sure. The credit lies with the humility of the group, and for the group to come into it with no ego. So I'm not selected from the start today. That can be difficult. I've got to be ready from 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70, whenever that moment comes. And what we've seen so far is a group that doesn't have any ego and can put their own disappointment to one side and can stay dialed into the detail of their job when they come on. So Ben Wiles is an example of that. Me and Ben have had some really good conversations over the last few days. It's my priority to keep everybody fresh and keep everybody ready. And perhaps Ben would have wanted to start tonight, if I'm being honest. But the conversation we have this morning is a really frank and open one. I felt like Ben would be able to really positively impact the game late on. Again, I go on record saying, Ben, I'm sure if you ask him, would have said, I think I'd like to start from the beginning, please, boss. But I love the way that he can come on and execute and stay really dialed into his job. And that goes for Lass, that goes for everybody that's come on the pitch. Because what we're seeing, and as you rightly point out, is games are being decided late on. And people have to be prepared to come on and affect it positively. So, yeah, delighted with that. Delighted that 2 subs come on and make a huge impact again.
We keep getting these opportunities from 12 yards as well, where somebody gets to shoot on goal. We're not used to that around here. It's 3 times this season.
Apparently not.
Does that speak to how positive we are in and around the box this season?
Yeah, well, it's something we have worked a lot on. We want to be as much as we can close to the opposition goal. We want to find our way in there in different ways. And we have players that can dribble, that can wriggle, that can roll, that can turn, can shoot, can drive. So we want to be there as much as possible, so we can have that on display, and we're seeing that. And then obviously it's really nice when the guys are prepared to take a deep breath and execute in those moments as well. So that's also nice. So look, yeah, we want to keep putting teams under pressure in their own box, and hopefully we'll see 1 or 2 more.
The home form this season's been exactly what we want it to be. We're back here on Saturday against Stevenage, which will be another test in its own right. What do the next couple of days look like for you and the group?
Well, it's tough. Obviously, we're in a big run of games, but we relish it. I've got to be honest, we really relish it, and the group are looking forward to it. As I say, we want to, and we know that we're going to have to use the group. So the group are prepared for that mentally, but we've got to rest and we've got to make sure we're fresh for the back half of this week and be ready to turn our heads to another difficult fixture, as you rightly say. So it's straight back on it. It's all the rest and recovery we can over the next 24 hours, get the lads fresh as we can. Thursday and Friday, it really is starting to dial into the detail of the opposition and being prepared for another tough fixture.
Lee, thank you very much for your time and congratulations.
Thanks very much.